since we are so close in time to that time period, tons of persons know the time period. It's been covered very much. London is a very well-known city also, probably one of the most photographed city in the world. And even in that time, the photography became democratic. So we have tons of pictures from the time period. I would say another challenge that we got, it's all of these pictures were in black and white. So we had to interpret the color and see, okay, how much color there were in the city. And that's also another thing that we wanted to avoid, creating a monochromatic city and being too much like cliche, playing too much with like having always overcast and rainy London. That's what we want to avoid to a certain point. Of course, we have those settings in the game, but London was also the financial capital of the world. There were tons of wealth and people that have huge power and money in the city. So we want to showcase that, because the good thing that we tell ourselves, if you want to see contrast, you need to see both sides. So if it's always rainy, you don't see the contrast. So we need to have like very rich area as opposed to very poor area. So yeah, as a matter of reference, at some point we got so many references that we have to say, okay, we have to simplify things, and simplification is a key in order to convey a strong message. So we treat our borough that way. So we had to get rid of some things here and there to make sure they have their own visual signature in opposition to the other one. So yeah, I would say it's a normal creative process. That it's not like we did something like that no one does. We just and then it's just a matter of pay attention to detail, stay focused, and try to do as best as you can. I think if the landmarks are correctly placed and you respect the general layout, people will recognize the city. Even because we didn't do a one-to-one representation of London, because there were no purpose of doing that. It's like a video game first, and it has to be fun. Also, it has to respect certain constraints. It can be like 4 kilometers wide. So we had to do choices. So of course, like many other games, we cut streets here and there, but the main landmarks are positioned at the same kind of place. So let's say you move to a street, you'll see the same landmark place at the exact same place. So people will recognize London, and they won't. Maybe they will see some difference, but for the mainstream people, it's going to look like London. One thing I must say, in our game, we decide that the building that we want to go in are factories, because that's what's new in Assassin's Creed Syndicate. It's the first game very close to the modern era. So us, it was really important to nail that down, and that's where we put our focus. We want people see the big machinery, the working class. That was for us the key interesting point that we work a lot on. So most of our interior were built according to that. So of course, like it was mentioning, we can go inside the Westminster Palace. You can go in other building. I don't want to spoil everything here, but there's a couple of big landmarks that you go in. And to get to your point, of course, we have picture reference, and we are based on that to do our interiors. Yeah, I would say that, because I think there's some buildings are so like national security, so you have to be careful. You cannot reproduce them as it is, because it's considered as could be a national security threat at some point. So you have to be careful on how you reproduce those buildings. So that's true. And I was just telling you that it's all about the industrial revolution and the modern age. So and that's what is new in the game. So that's why it was really important for us. And the Industrial Revolution, it's the time period that truly shaped the world as we know it today. So like the banking system, it's the birth of the capitalism. It's also we saw the apparition of the middle class. Our consumption habits, like the stores and the vendors, the way that we see them today, they were born in that time period. The apparition of the prêt-à-porter, you can buy dress by size, all appear in that time period. So it's really a time period that shaped the world as we know it today. So that's why we find it very interesting. And the machinery, it's the big part of the process of how to build how do you say that? Build fabulous quantities of product. It's not made by hand anymore, it's made by machine. So that's what we find very interesting to show. But that's good, you just tell it. So it means that what we did work, at least for you, you saw it, and that's what we wanted. We want people to see it as clearly as you just described, so that's a good thing. I'm happy to hear that.
Great. Thank you.